in order to show that I'm neutral, I'm wearing my Maple Leafs jersey right now. This, of course, is the 1967 throwback that they wore a couple years ago. I like it. I do. I just want to throw that out there because I do. And the funny thing is, people who haven't necessarily perused a lot of my content is, oh, you hate the Leafs. Remember, my stepdaughter's favorite team is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Every time there's a Toronto game on and she sees a jersey that looks like this, she says, I want the Maple Leafs to win. And then when I change the channel, she gets mad at me and she goes out and yells, Mom, Shannon turned the Maple Leafs game off. So there you go. Anyways, there's people out there like, oh God, he's getting it at home now too. Yeah. All right. I was tasked with this, and this is fun, so I'm willing to do it. But it's a lot. So the Vancouver Canucks have this weird thing. You go into Calgary, you're going to see a sea of red. You go into Toronto, you're going to see a lot of blue, some white, right? You go into Winnipeg, it's a sea of white. At least it's supposed to be. You go into Vancouver, it's Skittles. You got red, you got black, you got blue, you got yellow, orange, whatever you want. It's like Skittles. And it is a team that has struggled for years with identity. And the funny thing is, if you listen to fans for 2 seconds, one of the first things that comes up is, I hate the current jerseys. I can't stand it. They need to go back to insert name of jersey here. So I'm going to go through that. I'm going to start with this. This is the throwback to the Vancouver Millionaires. This is part of the problem, okay? The Vancouver Millionaires that are maroon. This is a nice jersey. I like my Vancouver Millionaires jersey. I do. But it doesn't look anything like anything else that the Vancouver Canucks have ever worn. Ottawa Senators can go back and wear whatever they wore in the 1920s, and while it's barber pole and it's going to be seizure inducing, it looks like an Ottawa Senators jersey. Montreal had that weird one with the leaf in the barber poles. That doesn't look like anything that a human's made. But still, any other classic jersey you see Montreal wearing looks like a Montreal Canadiens jersey. So the Vancouver Millionaires, part of their history, I really think just confuses matters even further. Um, and if anybody wants to mention the Maple Leafs, you can. But remember, the arenas used blue and white. The St. Patrick's used green and white, but the St. Patrick's weren't around for very long. It's all the same organization too, so they can switch out all they want. And there's still only two different main colors, green or blue. So Vancouver comes into the league in 1970. This is their first jersey with the V's on the sleeves. See, they always try to get a V in there, and it's weird, and we'll go through that because it's a strange situation with Vancouver that it's odd. The stick and rink was considered boring. I'm telling the truth. It was considered boring at the time they had it. What a boring design. Yawn. It's a hockey rink with a stick in it. Now, the fact that it forms a C, and it's not a great C. Like the Hartford Whalers would come in later and go, this is how you do blue and green, and this is how you make letters on the front of your jersey out of a shape. With the H and the W, it's just beautiful. This is, I think, iconic because of what followed. And I'm serious. I think we look back on the stick and rink fondly because of what followed. I've got this one here, which is a vintage jersey that was released not that long ago by CCM. And it's the same idea, but the striping's different. So this is the striping after they decided we don't need to put a V on our jersey. That's crazy. We don't need to put V's on our jerseys. Just that stick and rink. And again, it's kind of buckling a bit here, but despite the bubbling, which people ask me, how do you prevent it? Other than just keep it out of the dryer, and just don't wear it a lot. I guess it's something that happens with a lot of logos. Anyways, this is the jersey they went with after that, and everything seemed to be fine and dandy. And then 1979 came along. So this is why the arena looks like Skittles. These colors are marigold and orange, not red and yellow. You're going to see a lot of red and yellow, but this wasn't red and yellow. And I've mentioned that in videos before. So the Canucks decided we're going to take this nice blue and green and change it to this. And that's an improvement. The Vancouver Canucks immediately went into a 15 years in a row streak of not making it to 500. And you can debate whether or not it has anything to do with the decision to make this the primary jersey. And for anybody who needs a reminder of the less ugly version of the two. And I'm going to make this clear. I've got a picture of myself wearing that yellow V jersey with a big smile on my face because I had my eye on that jersey at Sport Check for about a year before it went on sale. And when it went on sale, I was like, I got to have it, and I got it for half price. And for $60, I am so proud to have that in my jersey collection. This one, I think I paid full price for this one. Yeah, about $120. And worth every ugly dollar of it. But again, there are Canuck fans who talk about bringing this back in blue and green. Okay? And for fans outside of the city of Vancouver, I would think you guys are laughing pretty hard. Like, why would anybody want to do that? Because in 1982, this team went to the Stanley Cup final. Forget the fact they were garbage that year. Forget the fact they were garbage every year after that for about a decade. But this jersey is what they wore for the run to the Stanley Cup Finals in 82. And you will see this during any given Vancouver Canucks broadcast. There's the Flying V. Look at all the Flying Vs in the crowd. So the Canucks decided that the Flying V was ugly. And they made this the main logo. And I love this. But they couldn't take V's off the jerseys because they'll forget they're from Vancouver if you don't have V's on it. You know, let's say Toronto skating around with T's all over their jerseys, except the Aretnas, but that's a one-game team, and I'm still waiting for those buggers to come out of retirement so they can lose a game. Retiring undefeated. That Ashton Matthews, I tell you. This, to me, is a pretty jersey. I've always liked the skate jersey, but this logo was referred to as the plate of spaghetti. It was mocked everywhere but Vancouver. When I hear people talk about they need to bring the skate jersey back, it's much like those who say we need to bring the stick-and rink back. We're just trying to glom onto something that we think looks better than what we have now. And in reality, it was pretty much a joke almost the entire time they were in Vancouver. It really was. I love this jersey for the memories it brings back from when I was a kid. I remember Petri Skriko, Patrick Sundstrom, Tony Tanti, all these guys wearing this jersey. All my favorite players. That team sucked. The jerseys aren't the reason why, but the jerseys are symptomatic. The team didn't have an identity. And if it had an identity, should it look like this? And I'm asking that realistically. Should it really look marigold and orange? And the funny thing is, I hate when they're red and yellow. Hate it. This was a different time in hockey. You now see the Nashville Predators are playing at home wearing yellow, right? Or marigold. Gold. Back, of course, when the Canucks, this was their home jersey, but their road jersey was the black one. So this was considered the same as wearing white. Now in the NHL, anything that's not a white jersey is your home jersey, and you have to have a white for your road jersey. It's so weird. It's so weird. I personally love this jersey so much. And when I do my top 100 jersey countdown, which is coming very, very soon, and I mean that it's coming very soon. That's going to be high up there, but it's going to be high up there because I'm a Canucks fan. Okay, if I was a fan of Toronto more than Vancouver, or if I was, if this channel was based out of Ottawa, there's no way that jersey cracks the top 20. I'd still have it because it's so beautifully ugly. But, the first jersey I ever bought, so Vancouver decided, you know what, that marigold home jersey is ugly. And we don't need V's on the sleeves because they know they're from Vancouver. So they went with the plate of spaghetti. They kept the orange and marigold as stripes, okay? And the orange and marigold on the logo. And if this looks really beat up, it's because I've had it since 1991. Or was it 1990? It's either 26 or 27 years old. Think about that. This jersey is older than a lot of the people watching the video. And I was really, really happy when I got it. And I wore it quite a bit that first year. And I ran it through the washer and the dryer. So because of the fact that I put it through the washer and the dryer, that's why the logo is all buggered up. So the Canucks decided to change it to red and yellow. Notice that on camera, these colors pop more than the orange and the marigold. I admit that. But when they went to red and yellow, I thought it looked awful. I thought they've gone full on Halloween. Halloween. They're the Halloween colors. Black, red, and yellow. And this jersey's loved because why? 1994, the Vancouver Canucks went to the Stanley Cup Final. Trevor Linden wore this. Kirk McLean, Greg Adams, Cliff Ronning, Jeff Courtnall. You name it. They wore this jersey. And that 1994 final was fantastic. And if not for Nathan Lafayette hitting the post, they could have won the Stanley Cup that year. And Vancouver fans have been attached to this jersey ever since. It was not long after that either, and there's another reason why. It was about a year after that they came out with this. I like this jersey. Let me make it clear. I like this jersey a lot. I think this jersey's really, really awesome. I always like the faded jerseys. When the colors fade into each other, I thought they were awesome. I am well aware that a lot of people think this is really ugly. And again, it shows identity crisis. What's the primary color on this? It's red. It's red. So you go to a Canucks game, you may see this one. It's red. Vancouver Millionaires, maroon. Because you see, it's funny. This was a video suggestion last week, and Yvonne and I got to talking, and I said the Canucks are a team with the greatest identity crisis in the league. Remember when they revealed this? Now, when they revealed this, of course, all of us kind of went, wait, what? You're going from the skate to that? And Orca Bay owned it. So because Orca Bay owned it, and there's an Orca, ever since then it's been called a corporate logo. And it was. It was when it started out. And then there was a local native artist who said that this was a rip-off of his design. I don't remember how that turned out, but his design looked remarkably similar to this. Now, you'll see a lot of native art in Vancouver if you've ever been here. There's totem poles in Stanley Park. There's a lot of native art, and orcas are usually drawn in this vein. And I don't know necessarily that it was that they meant to copy it, or if it was a coincidence, but it looked remarkably similar. And fans immediately hated this. There's another reason that fans immediately hated this jersey. His name's Mark Messier. So you go from the Stanley Cup final to this within, I think, 3 years. The team is absolutely awful at that point. Going nowhere but down. And this logo is attached to the Mark Messier era, when Pavel Bure wanted out, when McGillney was great one year and then just a passenger the next, when the Canucks were absolutely awful. And I mean, the West Coast Express came out of this too, but the start of this era was bad. This logo was associated with bad things happening to the Vancouver Canucks. Now, I don't have the white version of this. It's at the Canucks store. I desperately want it. I can't right now put down that kind of money on it. I can't do it. So as much as I'd like to have that show you guys, I don't. But this is the most recent Canucks jersey that I've got, thanks to Yvonne finding this for dirt cheap on Craigslist. This is another third jersey, and what's the primary color? Ugly. It's blue, but it is not. It's weird. It's a jersey. I love this jersey. I really do, and I always have. Again, much like the red, it's got the faded colors, and I get it. It's kind of ugly, and the striping's weird, and everything's weird about it, and yet I have an affinity for this jersey. I remember when they came out with this one, and I wanted them to make this the primary. I wanted them to take the other blue one and just ditch it and use this as a primary. In retrospect, they were right not to do it. That's what I wanted. And that one, it kind of softened for me the whole fact that they changed to the Orca. I was kind of okay with it. And then in the midst of them wearing the Orca, this showed up. A throwback. A vintage focus. So, while they're pushing the Orca and their new color scheme, This vintage comes out of nowhere, and fans buy it up like crazy. Fans had waited decades to see the Canucks wearing this logo again. They love this logo. Oh no, they didn't in the 70s. I've got magazines from the 70s where they talk about the Canucks having ugly jerseys and ugly logos. That was before the Flying V. It's like the Canucks went, oh yeah, that's ugly. Hold my beer. I'll be right back. I got to sketch something with crayon in the bathroom. Um, so then, coming out of a lockout, the Canucks said we're redesigning our jerseys. These are honestly the best jerseys the Canucks have ever had. Now, I have shown you the colorful Skittles history of the Canucks jerseys. I really think this is the best design. Now, I understand people don't like this word mark. I get it. It's not a V, though. It's the whole city. So instead of them just putting a giant V here, or on the shoulders, or wherever they put a giant V, they've got the stick and rink here, and it's modernized. I always thought that was funny, that they have a modernized stick and rink, and the difference is that they've actually made it a C here, that they've decided to put a line around the stick. And I'm wondering how many hours it took for them to come up with that. Okay, modernized stick and rink. Why is the skate logo on the stick? Well, see, because then it's like it's batting around our history. No. Why don't we just put lines around it? Fine. I want out of this office now. This is a gorgeous jersey. Now, what I like is he's breaking through the ice. It is a minor alteration to what they had before. But the white here really, for me, makes the jersey look a lot better. And I mean, it makes the jersey... Here, I'll show you. So, I've got the white one, too. Thanks to Reeboks being sold off by Lids. So, here he is breaking out of the water. The weird thing to me has always been, he's coming out of the water, this looks jagged. And I know it's artistic, so you can't really make it look like water. But, for me, when you see it coming out of the ice, instead of coming out of the water, to me it just looks better. To me it just looks like it works better. Okay? So that was the design, and everybody to this day talks about how ugly it is. And really the biggest issue is, what is a Canuck? That's the other jersey I need. Now I'm gonna go off a little bit here. This is the Johnny Canuck jersey. They sold these off at the Canuck store last July, and I got one because I had to. This is a beautiful jersey. There are people who will tell you this should be the Canucks logo, this should be their secondary, and they should embrace Johnny Canuck. There are a lot of people who won't know what that is. Notice the jersey is green. We would change the color again. I am fine with this being as this is a fashion jersey and something that's a curiosity and something that people will look at and say, oh, that looks nice. As a primary jersey, and I know Canuck fans are going to disagree with this for the most part, I don't think Johnny Canuck works. Now, that being said, during that period, the third jersey was this modern day stick and rink with Johnny Canuck on the sleeves and a V because that's for Vancouver. Now, the fact that this does look somewhat like the logo for Vachon cakes or whatever the hell the Vachon logo, and look it up. It looks remarkably like it. We'll just forget that. The stick and rink to me is weird. So let's go back to the other stick and rink. So somebody sits in a boardroom and says, all right, we've got to make a modern day version of this. And they, all right, is that it? Wow, the stick's slightly slanted and we've got like lines around the stick. Yep, that'll do it. And there are Canuck fans that will argue, this is great and this is boring. It's such a minor difference. The striping is almost identical. It's such a minor difference. It's really not this major update. It's just this small thing, and yet everybody's like, I want modern stick and rink. Now, one other Canucks jersey I have, and this is one of those fashion jerseys again, and I saw this design at the game. When I was at the Colorado game, I saw this. I did not expect to see this. A black accelerator, Daniel Sedin. His was Henrik. So if I'd brought Daniel, I probably would have been the only one in the stands with Daniel. Uh, but it's again, it's got the modern stick and rink on the sleeves, the Vancouver word mark that everybody hates. Now Yvonne got a one of those sweatshirt jerseys of the Canucks, and it's of that same design. The difference is that the the Vancouver jersey sweatshirt she has, which she got from Horizon Sporting Goods in Seven Oaks Mall. Highly recommend them if you're local in Abbotsford and you're looking for a jersey of a team that other stores may not carry. He's probably got it. You can at least order it, and his prices aren't bad. Anyways, so there's a plug. And only because he gave her that sweater jersey for $49.99 or $39.99, I think it was. It was cheap, dirt cheap, but it doesn't have the word mark, and I have to say it looks cleaner. So if I had to bet on anything that's going to happen, and every now and then you'll see Canucks fans saying, "Let's have a poll. We should all bring the skate jersey back." Screw you, the skate jersey's stupid. We need a lumberjack on the front. You want a lumberjack? We can't have a lumberjack. We're going to have the stick and rink back. I love Orca. Whatever they say, I think just knocking the word mark off would probably make the jersey look cleaner. You can make the logo a little bit larger. Logos are huge on jerseys now. The difference between jerseys that were made 30 years ago and now, basically it's like you're blind. Although I get it. It's for television and it looks better on TV. So the bigger logos work. So there you go. There's the colorful jersey history of the Vancouver Canucks. And for anybody who's wondering when I'm going to do my top 100 favorite jerseys countdown, there is one beautiful item. One. That has to be on said countdown. And until it is here, I cannot do said countdown. And then I have to go through and I have to organize and prioritize and figure out exactly where jerseys are going. Because this has to be done perfectly. I want this to be the last time I ever have to do it. And that'll be it. Major movement and major rises and drops in my favorite jerseys. And I want this to be the end of it. Alright, but thank you guys for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And if anybody didn't know I was a Canuck fan before, now you know. I don't talk about it a lot on the channel because it's not something that I need to chat a lot about. You'll hear it during reviews and previews. But I don't wear Canucks jerseys. I try not to wear Canucks jerseys more than everybody else necessarily. And as you can see, I've got a tremendous selection to choose from. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to this point, awesome. Thank you so much for all your support. Happy Sunday to you, and hit those like and subscribe buttons if you're browsing your way around. I will talk to you guys again soon.